The eternal flame, a dragon's final words, the obsidian peaks stood stark against the heavens, their jagged edges tracing lines across the twilight sky. Zoran, the ancient dragon of timeless wisdom, perched on his high throne. His wings, now folded like banners of light and shadow, shimmered with an ethereal glow as the last rays of the sun melted into the infinite horizon. Tonight, the air hummed with a weight not of sorrow, but of profound finality, a moment in which the dragon would breathe his last gift into the mortal realm. His golden eyes, still bright with the flames of ages, gazed across the world below. Among the flickering lights of humanity, Zoran's gaze found Bryan Johnson, a mortal whose unyielding quest for transformation echoed across the tapestry of existence. Bryan had achieved much a harmony of mind and body, a rhythm attuned to the cosmos, and a flame within that burned with purpose and balance. Yet Zoran understood that the journey was never truly complete. He inhaled deeply, the air rich with the stories of countless lifetimes, and prepared to speak. "The flame within you," Zoran murmured, his voice resonant as the mountains themselves, "is not merely a spark, it is the eternal fire of creation, passed through each breath, each thought, each life. Tend to it with care, mortal, for it is the key to all that you are and all you might yet become." The message of hope and wisdom. Zoran unfurled his wings slightly, their edges catching the first glimmers of starlight. He let his gaze wander over the peaks, rivers, and valleys, symbols of nature's enduring strength and fragility. He reflected on Bryan's journey, and through him, the aspirations of humanity itself. His final words were not for Bryan alone, but for all beings bound to the cycle of existence. On balance, Zoran spoke of the delicate balance that must be preserved, the interplay of ambition and humility, creation and destruction, light and shadow. To shape the world, Zoran said, you must first honor the rhythms of nature. All that rises too high, untethered, will fall. Respect the balance, mortal, for it is the foundation of eternity. The eternal quest for knowledge. To Zoran, the pursuit of knowledge was humanity's most noble endeavor. Yet he warned against the illusion of final answers, urging Bryan and all mortals to see knowledge not as a destination, but as a flame to be tended. Wisdom is not found in certainty, Zoran murmured, but in the eternal quest for understanding. Question, learn, grow, but never forget that the search itself is the answer. The inner chemistry set and the potential of living. Zoran's gaze turned inward, his thoughts delving into the essence of existence, the inner chemistry set that had fascinated Bryan and fueled his pursuits. Zoran spoke of this alchemy not as a mortal invention, but as a truth embedded in all life. The symphony within, the inner chemistry set, was not simply a collection of processes or mechanisms, it was the symphony of life itself, where every beat, breath, and spark created harmony. Within you lies the universe, Zoran reflected, its rhythms woven into your very being. The elements of earth, air, fire, water, and ether do not merely surround you, they dwell within you, waiting to be harmonized. Unlocking potential. Zoran knew that Bryan had glimpsed the potential within himself and others, the ability to refine, transform, and ascend. Yet the dragon cautioned that such power must be wielded with care and purpose. Every living thing carries the seed of transformation, Zoran said, but that seed must be nurtured gently. Force and haste will break what should be allowed to bloom. The final words as the stars grew brighter, Zoran raised his head, his massive frame illuminated by their light. His wings unfurled fully now, spanning the sky like bridges between worlds. He spoke his final words, his voice carrying across the realms of mortals and dragons alike. Mortal and dragon, child of earth and star, heed my wisdom. The flame within you is eternal, but it burns brightest when fed by balance, purpose, and respect for the rhythms of creation. Remember this, The seed of eternity lies in all living things, not in mastery alone, but in harmony. Tend to your inner fire, and let its light guide not only yourself, but all who follow in your steps. The legacy of the flame. With one final breath, Zoran rose into the sky, his silhouette a luminous figure against the infinite. As he ascended, his presence seemed to dissolve into the constellations, his form becoming one with the stars. His legacy, however, did not vanish. It remained etched in the hearts of all who had listened. Bryan, humanity, and even his fellow dragons. For Bryan, Zoran's wisdom would shape not only his path, but the paths of those who came after, a ripple that would resonate through time, weaving new stories into the tapestry of existence.